graph. Like that we have studied using pie graphs also. Till frequency distribution table and pictographs, pie graphs, bar graphs. All this we have discussed in the previous classes. Now in this class we are particularly going to discuss about how to represent the grouped data in graphical representation. That is by using bar graphs. By using histograms. Next, by using frequency polygons, by using frequency curves, by using Vogt curves, how we are representing that grouped data, we are going to learn now. So first, in that first thing is histogram. Before that, first we will see about bar graphs. Today we are learning how to represent graphical representation of the data. How to represent the data in graphical form. So by using graph paper, we are representing the data in the form of bar graphs. Data can be represented using frequency distribution tables. So that's what we have studied for ungrouped data, grouped data in the previous exercises. In this chapter only, in the exercise 7.2, we have studied about frequency distribution tables. Secondly, pictographs. Means if the data is represented using pictures, that is known as pictographs. So this one also in previous classes, 6th class only you have studied about pictographs. And next, thirdly, pie graphs. Pie graphs are nothing but information is represented by using a circle. In that circle, sectors are used to represent different portions. For suppose I have a circle, so it is also known as circle graph. Why? Because it is represented by using a circle only. So circle, and in the circle total, to complete one circle, it has to rotate 360 degrees. So we know that the area bounded by, see it is one radius and another radius, both are same, 2 radii. Radius plural form is radii. Area bounded by radii and arc, some part of the portion, some portion of the circle, some part of the circle is known as arc. Area bounded by 2 radii and arc is known as sector. Okay. So here it is less space is occupied inside of these two. Shaded portion is less. This one is minor sector. Remaining portion also bounded by 2 radii and a bigger arc. So it is known as major sector and it is minor sector. Major and minor. Okay. Why I am talking about that means, if suppose I have a pie graph like this, circle graph or pie graph like this. So here for suppose this side, whatever is there, this information I am giving for a student. He is performing in a day these many activities. So for this much period he is using, this much time he is using for sleep, and it is for study, and it is for eating, and it is for playing, for suppose. So just observe here, most of the time he is using for sleep, and remaining how much is particularly we don't know, but that particularness also we can find by using angle sector. So such type of questions you have prepared in 7th class. Okay, pie graphs we have studied about pie graphs, how to represent pie graph we have studied in the 7th class. Here we are finding angle sectors. So here information is represented like a circle by using the sectors, is known as pie graph or circle graph. Next, bar graph. Bar graph is also known as column graph. Why? Because here we are using rectangles to represent the data. So if we are in a graph paper or whatever. Like this information is given. If the information is represented by using the rectangle, see, this is one rectangle. Here also one rectangle. Here also one rectangle. And width of each rectangle is always equal. Length only will vary. Okay. So if the information is represented by using rectangles, is known as bar graph, and it is also known as column graph. So we have two types of bar graphs. If bars, rectangles are known as bars. If the bars are uh, parallel to y-axis, that means vertical line. Y-axis is vertical line, x-axis is horizontal line. If the bars are parallel to y-axis, that vertical line, then that is said to be a vertical bar graph. If the bars are parallel to horizontal line, that is x-axis, then see now this bar is parallel to this x-axis. Then such type of bar graph is known as horizontal bar graph. Okay, we can represent the data as vertical or horizontal bar graph also. And then double bar graph. At a time, if we are comparing two different companies by taking different activities or whatever. So if you are representing two different items on single graph, that is comes under double bar graph. For comparison, we will use that double bar graph. Next, here we are, so till that we have studied in the previous classes. Now, here why I am talking about bar graph means histograms we are representing by using the bars only. But these bar graphs for individual data we have taken. In case of histograms, we will prepare bars for the class intervals, grouped frequency, not for ungrouped data. So this is for ungrouped data. Bar graphs we have used for ungrouped data, whereas histograms will use for grouped data, and that too only exclusive class intervals, not for inclusive class intervals. Okay, if the data is given in inclusive class intervals, we will convert them into exclusive class intervals by taking the class boundaries. Then we will prepare the histogram. Okay, now take one example for bar graph. So once revised about bar graphs. Now here frequency distribution tables over. Pictographs and pie graphs already we have discussed in the previous classes. So now once again come back to bar graphs. Why? Because next continuation we have histograms like bar graphs only. That's why once we will revise bar graphs. So let us take one example. So when they may give bar graphs and they will ask the questions on that graph. So we need to study the graph and answer the given questions. Otherwise, they will give the information. We need to prepare the bar graph. So two possibilities are there. Now my question is like this. Here they only mention the bar graph. Horizontal line is known as x-axis and vertical line is known as y-axis. And on the y-axis, they have mentioned number of students, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Number of students. And the achievement in exam is represented on the x-axis. So A grade, 30 people are there. B grade, 55. So between 50 and 60 we will get a smaller line, that is 50 given. Next, C grade, 40 students given. See, compulsory we need to represent this data by using a graph paper only. Why? Because correct measurements we have to take. In the graph paper, we will get horizontal boxes and vertical boxes, and in each box, 10 smaller lines you will get horizontally as well as vertically also. Like this also you will get 10 smaller lines. Between them, fifth line will be somewhat thicker. So already you drawn bar graphs in the previous classes, so you know about graph paper. Each box represents area of 1 centimeter square. Okay, and smaller lines represent 0.1 values, 0.1 centimeter, otherwise 10 millimeters like that. 1 millimeter. So 1 centimeter equal to 10 millimeters, means all 10 smaller lines will form 1 centimeter. Here 1 centimeter, this side 1 centimeter. So area of that box is equal to 1 into 1 square box. So side into side, 1 into 1 centimeter square will get. Every box is divided into equal parts in the graph paper. Here also you will get like that only. So just observe, here gap is given, means one box is left here. And here grade A, grade B, grade C. So this information, by observing this bar graph, it is the information given about the students who scored the marks in that exam. How many students have scored grade A, grade B, grade C belong to that marks we need to find. So it is very clear that first study the given bar graph. First thing, lengths are different for each bar. Just observe, length is different. For each rectangle, length is different. But this box width, compulsory we will represent only in single box. See, whatever you are taking here, like this only they will take. And if you are placing here some gap, for the next bar, between the next bar also we have to keep the gap. So spacing between the two bars and width of the bars must be equal always. Sorry, this space if you are giving or not giving, there is no problem. But whatever width, that is always same. But length is not equal. Each bars are having uniform width. And here data is represented vertically. Bars are represented vertically. They are parallel to y-axis. So it is known as vertical bar graph. In this vertical bar graph, x-axis, on the x-axis they have marked achievement in exam. So those are achievement is divided into three types: grade A, B, C. Grade A students, how many number of students got grade A marks, grade B marks, grade C marks? By observing the y-axis, means these numbers represents number of students. Grade A, 30 students are scoring grade A marks. Grade B marks scored by, see this is exactly given in between 50 and 60 in the graph paper, okay. That fifth line they have mentioned, so it is 55 and here 30. Next, grade C marks are scored by total 40 people. Okay. Every bar is having uniform width 1 centimeter, 1 centimeter, 1 centimeter, but length is different. That length tells us what is the value of that bar. So here this value is for number of students. Means length of this bar is 30. So 30 students are scoring grade A like that. And next, if you are adding all these values, 30, 55 and 40, means total number of students you will get. That means total frequency of that information, frequency of that information you will get. Okay, number of students, total number of students you will get if you are adding length of each bar. Now observe the question. So they are given the bar graph. Now we have studied about bar graph. Now first problem is asking, what does this bar graph represent? And second question, how many students secured A, B or C grades? A, B, are C grades. Which grade is secured by more number of the students? Which grade is secured by more number of students? Next problem. How many students are there in the class? So here we'll write the answers. Observe the question. What does this bar graph represent? About what information it is showing? Just observe. Performance of the students is shown in this bar graph. Okay. Then how many students secured A, B or C grades? 30 students are getting A grade, 55 students are getting B grade, and grade C are 40. So add total 30 plus 55, 85. 80 plus 40, 125 students are scoring A, B, otherwise C grades. Which grade is secured by more number of students? So just observe the bars, length of the bars. Here grade B is more. This grade B, most of the students have scored grade B. Okay. Then how many students are there in the class? So total 30 plus 55 plus 40 again. That's all. Okay. First question about the performance of the students in the exam, it is showing. Performance of students in a class. Shown in the figure. Shown in the bar graph. So these sentences you can write as you wish. And next, secondly, how many students secured A, B or C grades? A grade 30 people and B grade 55 people, C grade 40 people secured is equal to total 125 students are secured A, B or C grades. Next, third question. Which grade is secured by more number of students? So just observe 55 is more rather than 30 and 40. So grade B are scored by more people. Grade B secured by more number of students. And next question. How many students are there in the class? So this total number of students are 30, 55 and 40. 30 plus 55 plus 40, which is nothing but again 125 students are there in the class. Next, let us, so this is given for vertical bar graph. Now we will see one example for horizontal bar graph also. So let us take this bar graph. X-axis and y-axis. Here bars are parallel to x-axis. Zero, 25, 50, 75, 100, 125, 150, 175, 200. Here number of vehicles on x-axis, and on the y-axis mentioned vehicles, which type of vehicle. So here first bar is represented for bicycles and second bar is for bikes. Third one is scooters. Fourth one given for autos. And fifth one is given for cars. Okay, now observe the bar graph. Now answer, just we will see, we will read this bar graph. Okay, so now here bars are parallel to x-axis. So it is x-axis is horizontal line. It is every bar is parallel to horizontal line. So it is known as horizontal bar graph. Okay, and by observing this bar graph, they are mentioned the information about vehicles and number of vehicles for a particular village or whatever. So now just observe here, by observing this graph, here they have mentioned it, 5 different types of vehicles, and that how many vehicles are there for particular village they are mentioned. Now bicycles, total 150 are there. Bikes, just observe 150, and bicycles till 100 they have shown. So bikes are 100, bicycles are 150, and how many scooters are there in that village? Just observe 75, and these two are equal. Autos also 75 are there, and cars 50. Okay. So this is the information given about number of vehicles in a particular village, and there are 150 bicycles are there in that village. Total 100 bikes are there, 75 scooters and autos are there, and the cars are 50 are there in that village. That's all. So depending on that information, they may ask the question. Okay. So now first of all, take the definition for bar graph and types of bar graph. Bar graphs are nothing but if the data is represented by using bars with the same width and varying length. Okay. If the data represented by using bars, that means rectangles, of uniform width. Uniform means same. Uniform width and different lengths. Different lengths being proportional to the respective values. Is called bar graph. Means length is varies. Length is depends upon different respective value. Just now we see grade A 30 students are there, grade B 55 students are there. Means respective values. For that respective values, length is different. Okay, so we have two types of bar graphs. First one is horizontal and vertical. Horizontal bar graph. So here I am not mentioning horizontal line, vertical line, because you know horizontal line is x-axis, vertical line is y-axis. Because you have already studied about bar graphs, that's why that all information we know already. That's why just directly I am discussing about bar graphs, and next we will discuss about histograms. Horizontal bar graph is nothing but if the bars are nothing but rectangles. The bars are parallel to horizontal line. That is x-axis. Then it is known as horizontal bar graph. And secondly, we have vertical bar graph. So double bar graph means at a time we will compare two different things, okay? Two different topics at a time we will compare. And vertical bar graph, if the data is if the bars are parallel to y-axis, that is vertical line. Then it is known as vertical bar graph. So till now we have represented data for ungrouped data only, bar graphs, by using the bar graphs. Only for ungrouped data we have represented by using graph. But what about for grouped data? So here first thing, to represent the grouped data graphically, we have first one as histograms. Histograms. Histograms, by using the histograms, we will represent the grouped frequency distribution, that only for exclusive classes in the graphical representation. So how, just observe the example, after that we will learn how to construct the histogram. First, what is the histogram we must learn. So just observe this example. 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Okay, this is y-axis and it is x-axis. And here it is mentioned frequency. Class intervals. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So they have mentioned 0 to 10, 5 students. Sorry. Let it be 2. Then 4. 8. Next 10. 40. So 12 I am taking. And here scale also given. On x-axis 1 centimeter equal to 1 class interval. And on y-axis 1 centimeter is equal to 2 students. Okay, this is information about students. So here table class intervals. So class intervals is for marks and frequency is for number of students. This one also given in the question only, but without copying from the question, just observe this from the text. From this information, we will write the class intervals. 0 to 10 is first class interval. 10 to 20. 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, 50 to 60, like that. All intervals are given in continuous form, that is exclusive class intervals till 100. So 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, 50 to 60, 60 to 70, 70 to 80, 80 to 90, 90 to 100. And 0 to 10, how many people got, sorry, less than 10, how many people got the marks? Less than 10 marks, how many people are scored? Only 2. Less than 10, only 2. And less than 20, sorry, less between 10 to 9, 10 to 20. Okay, 4 people. And in this class interval, 20 to 30 means 20 to 29 people. How many people are getting? That one is 8. So just read this information first of all. 0 to 10 is the grouped frequency distribution table. Groups given here, not individual values. Okay. So class intervals are given and it is for grouped frequency, that is histogram. We are using vertical bar graphs only and only for exclusive classes. There is no gap between each graph, each rectangle, each bar. But in bar graphs, we can use the space between the each bar, but here we can't use. Okay. Now, so first class interval, 2 students are there, frequency. And for 10 to 20, 4 students were there, 20 to 30, 8, 30 to 40, 10, next to 12, next 16, again 12, 10, 8, 6. Like this they have mentioned in the question. Now coming to the right here, whatever information is given here, 20 to 38, 30 to 40, 10 students are scoring and 12, next to 16, again 12, 10, 8, 6. Now, total how many students, for how many students this information is mentioned and how many students have scored so and so marks. Now, total students will receive 1, 8 plus 2, 10, 10 plus 10, 20, 24, 24 plus 6, 30, 40, 52, 52 plus 2, 54, 64, 74, 74 plus 6, 80, 80 plus 8, 88. Actually, they are given other numbers, but for our calculations, easiest calculations, I have mentioned these only for understanding purpose. So here, total number of students were 88. Now, how many bars are there in the graph? First question. How many bars are there in the graph? Till now, whatever bar graphs questions we have seen, only on y-axis, other on x-axis we have used the scale. Okay, but here we are using scale on x-axis as well as on y-axis also. Always x-axis takes class intervals only, and y-axis we will take frequency. We will use only vertical bars to represent the histograms, and there is no gap between each bar. Those are particular conditions, and it is used for only continuous series, that is exclusive class intervals only. Okay. Now, how many bars are there in this graph? Just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 bars are there. That is the answer. And second problem, in what proportion the height of the bars are drawn? Heights means this length of the bars are drawn depending on which value, that is the question. So question, in what proportion? In what proportion? In what proportion the height of the bars are drawn? Height of the bars are drawn. Height is nothing but length of that bar. Length of that bar is drawn depending on the frequency, number of students. So it is depending on frequency. Actually, complete sentence we need to write. Okay, then next question. Width of all bars is same. So why the width of all bars is same? Means class intervals, length of class size is same in each class interval. That's why width of the classes are same. What is the reason they are asking? Why the width always same? They are asking because class size of every class interval is same. That's why width also we are getting same. Okay, class size. Otherwise, length of the class is same. So that is the third problem. And other question given. Shall we interchange any two bars of the graph? Shall we interchange any two bars of the graph? No, we can't because it is given for particular class interval. We can't replace this length 4 bars with the length 8 bars because 10 to 20 compulsory 4 number of students only getting, and 20 to 30 compulsory they are getting 8 only. So we can't exchange these two. Okay, here first question given, how many bars are shown in the graph? Total 10 bars are shown, and in what proportion height of the bars are changing. That is depending on frequency only. That is depending on number of students, height of the bars are changing. Okay. Next, third question, why the width of the bars are equal? They are asking because for this question, class size is same, but some questions we will not get same class size. Here for this question, class size is same. Length of each class is same. That's why we are getting equal width. Next, can we interchange the bars? They are asking. We can't because they are given continuous series. We can't skip 10 to 20 as 22. First, we can't write 20 to 30. After that, 10 to 20. We can't write. So we can't interchange the length of the bars. Okay. So what differences we got till in bar graphs and histograms? Just observe. Bar graphs, we are taking individual bars for individual activity. Like A grade means only for that one, but coming to here means that is for ungrouped data given. Here 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30 means here just class intervals are mentioned, grouped frequencies. Okay, whereas bar graphs we have studied for ungrouped data. Now it is for grouped data. And in the histograms, we have to use exclusive class intervals only. Okay. And heights of the bars depends upon the frequency of the data. Next, width may be sometimes equal and sometimes may not be equal. So that one with the example we will see later on. Just observe this. While we are drawing bar graphs, we can able to give the space in between two bars. But whenever we are drawing histograms, compulsory we need to draw side by side. Each bar we must place side by side. And next, always we can draw vertical histograms only, not horizontal. Okay, those are the differences. And next, while we are writing scale, we need to take class intervals always on x-axis and the frequency on y-axis. Okay. Now we will go through with another example. So when histograms are given, how we are reading that histogram and how we are answering. This is the example. Now coming to next question. Okay. In the next class, we will see how to construct the histograms.